I'm Frank Harrell, Vice President of Security at Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories, and we're excited today to really showcase a process that we refined over a period of weeks to conduct a large-scale vaccination clinic to service this community, and many communities actually, with a broad-based community effort with a really simple flow that can move people in and out in a matter of minutes. The goal is to take an unvaccinated person and either get them their first dose and an appointment for the booster shot, or to make them a fully vaccinated individual. We have been successful in doing that in less than 30 minutes, roughly, and that's measured from the time somebody parks in our facility to the time somebody exits and leaves in that vehicle. That 1/2 hour includes a mandatory 15-minute waiting period for most people, and our objective is to do this in a safe and efficient manner and improve it at every step. So we're standing in the intake area, and so people hopefully don't queue at all, don't line up on the outside at all. Sometimes that's necessary, and we have some tents out there where we do symptom screening just as soon as they cross this threshold into a warmer environment this time of the year. We do a temperature screening, then they move into these tables here, arrayed alphabetically, to take care of the necessary paperwork process and get them into the system in the minimum time possible. This really depends on whether it's a primary or booster dose, but really this should take no more than 2 minutes. Most of the paperwork is either completed in the line. Hopefully people can bring that with them, but we equip them with the materials to do that. But if you don't have your paperwork, we take care of that here. So the time can range from 15 seconds to 2 minutes, depending upon how much paperwork has been pre-filled. But the paperwork really is fairly minimal. What we have seen time and time again at these large-scale events, that two things are particularly helpful. One is to make the flow visible. One of the ways that we have found to make that flow visible is the use of these LED counters. Every person that walks through the door to be vaccinated is counted, and that count is made visible. It gives us all a benchmark of what's occurring, and as vaccine is prepared, those too are incremented on LED counters so that we can mate those two and make sure that we have an adequate vaccine supply for the amount of people that have come through our doors. These events can be rather large, and there are quite a few people in the building with 60 or more volunteers. And what we found particularly useful are two-way radios in each station, each of the intake, vaccine preparation points, the waiting areas, etc. And it's really important that people can communicate, whether you're summoning a wheelchair for someone that has a mobility impairment or something else that needs to be done on the spot. So we actually have green tape on the floors to chart the path for people to walk. We're simply going to walk into the main foyer area here, and that's where we've erected 11 vaccination stations. So there's a queue that forms, and then the person will go into an area where they actually receive the injection. So we're in the main foyer of this event center, and this is the actual series of vaccination stations. And so we have an individual standing about where I am, directing individuals to the tables behind me. And what you see on most of these tables, and actually some have been taken to a different vaccination event we're running in Idaho, but are visual indicator lights. And then when that vaccination station is free, the individuals that are queued up here in a very short line move to the next available station. There, they're greeted by a nurse and an assistant or a doctor who actually administers the injection, the vaccination. That takes a very limited period of time, and that completes this phase of the process. We're standing in a commercial kitchen that's been converted to a vaccine preparation area. It takes a dedicated team of pharmacists, nurses, and physicians to prepare the hundreds of doses that are given in one single large-scale vaccination clinic. They work in this room, and they remove vaccine from our refrigerator here, which is monitored by an SEL 24/11 temperature monitor digital data logger to ensure that the appropriate temperature regime is maintained at all times. This vaccine is taken from this room, when necessary, out to these the vaccination stations that you saw earlier. After individuals receive their vaccination, they take a short walk into the main hall. We have, as you see, scores of chairs spaced 6 feet apart, and that's for the required 15-minute wait. During the 15-minute wait period, we display on the big screens in our main waiting hall messages about the vaccine, about what to expect post-vaccination, about the CDC V-Safe program, about how the individuals waiting can help in their community to either bolster public health or volunteer or contribute to the various charities that are trying to mitigate the impact that COVID-19 has had and will have for some time in our communities. After an individual completes the 15-minute wait, they exit through these doors behind me, but before they do that, they interact with the checkout person, as you can also see, who is going to check if it's your first vaccination, that you receive that required appointment for the 21-day Pfizer booster or the 28-day Moderna booster. They then leave through those doors into the parking lot, and again, the total time should be 30 minutes from pulling into the lot, interacting with this entire process, and then leaving. We really appreciate the time you took to learn about this process. If there's any way we can assist anyone out there with replicating this, we're happy to do it. Simply call Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories.